Hi guys, Alod here, different type of video here. This one's an actual deck build. The last deck build I did was DoDo's Dark Magician Ritual deck, which, speaking of, DoDo sticker, die-cast cut, looks really cool, love it. I'm not going to stick it to anything, I like it way too much. Got here quite fast, looks quite good. It's, as you can see, the size of my hand. I don't really have small hands, but as you can see, it's a decent sized sticker. You want to check out his videos on the Ritual Dark Magician build, please please watch them. I'll drop a link in the description below. And now onto the deck build. This one is a Dark Magician branded Bystial build, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. No, I will not be using Red Eyes Fusion. So we'll start off. So first of all, the two Dark Magician. The one Dark Magician girl. One Timaeus the United Dragon. Two Illusion of Chaos. One Magician's Rod. Again, this build is what I've chosen. These are the ratios that work best for me. Doesn't mean they're going to work for everybody. 3 Magician Souls. I do like, speaking of, I do like in the Rarity Collection 2 that's going to be coming out in May. They've released this, which is going to make it a lot easier for people to get a hold of this card, which is great. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, you know, play cards. It's like, no, we all want to play Dark Magician, and I want more people to play Dark Magician, so it's great that they've got a cheaper alternative. Because buying cards these days are getting quite expensive. Okay, the 2 Fallen of Albars. As I said, I'm running branded in this. The 1 Bystial Rebellion. Did have 2 at one point, but I just kind of found out that, you know, when you're trying to keep it to a 40 card deck, that, you know, you got too many of one card is just not a good thing. The 1 Bystial Magnamut. The 1 Bystial Druisworm. So I have been dabbling with 2 Bystial Druisworm, which does work out quite well. As opposed to adding the Bystial Soronir in there. Probably didn't pronounce that right, don't care. The 1 Nibiru, the Primal Being, you might ask why, you'll find out later on. So for the monster cards, now for the spell cards. Anybody else remember when we used to call them magic cards? 1 Magician's Salvation. 1 Dark Magical Circle. Have gone for the blue ultra rare as opposed to the others. Sadly I don't have a secret rare version. Do prefer the secret rares, but the blue one looks pretty good. 2 Soul Servant. I do have 3. I have used 3 for probably the most amount of time. However, activating 3 during any one game, be it in real life or online hand tests, never comes up, so I've limited it to 2. The 1 Secrets of Dark Magic. I have noticed that Loza has made a video on Dark Magician fusion spells, which, yes, we quite rightfully need, because that's just not good enough, but it is what it is, and it's what we only have, so we have to deal with what we've got. The 2 Preparation of Rites. Did used to run 3, but again, due to certain cards that I wanted to put into my deck, I've had to cut back on a few, and removing a prep seems to be the best thing for me to do. The 1 Terraforming. The 1 Secret Village of Spellcasters. Did run 2, felt like that was a bit too bricky. Kind of like, again, these ratios are what suits me the best. I felt that for me, kind of having like 2 Secret Villages in my hand and not much to get Dark Magician. I just seem to be just not very good. So the 1 seems to suit me fine. The 3, Branded Fusion, which I know people are going to hate, but hey, it's in there anyway. Brain Dead Fusion. Still makes me laugh. But they are right. It is, but it works. The 2 Super Polymerization. Yes, they are different rarities, and no, I do not care. The 1 Branded Regained, which doesn't come up very often, but when it does, it's really handy. The 2 Triple Tactics Talents, again different rarities because I just do not care. The 1 Called by the Grave, because we're only allowed 1. No, I do not own the Nobleman of whatever it's called. Which is quite a good card, but because I don't run that many hand traps in this build, there's kind of not really a call for it. And because this deck is primarily built to kind of work my way around people using Droll and Lockbird, it's probably not the best thing to use. So anyway, that's for the spell cards. And now for the trap cards. 2 Eternal Soul, was debating cutting down to 1. I know Matchies done many of his builds with just the 1 Eternal Soul, which I will be doing that in certain matches, but again when I get to the side deck it all will become clear. And the 3 Evenly Matched. Quite frankly, because it is worth sacrificing a battle phase to get rid of every card on your opponent's board barring 1, which will then allow you, if you use Evenly Matched first, they then allow you to go into your play to either set up Dark Magician or to go into Dragoon, Secret Village, some sort of lock like that, which will then make it better on the next turn and less likely that your opponent's going to have any kind of comeback. Speaking of which, speaking of Dragoon, let's get onto the side deck. Oh, sorry, extra deck even. Goes without saying, 2 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, love it. And for this particular build, when I was doing test hands and I was testing it out on Omega, I'm just kind of like going on, this build is what I end up using the most. So it's kind of like, in this case, you know, we're always going to want Dragoon out, no matter what builds you are, we always want him out. The Dark Magicians came up a few times, but never anything like Master of Chaos or Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. So I kind of taken this out of the extra deck for the time being. The 1 Ubellion the Searing Dragon, because again Branded Fusion just allows you to get Dragoon out. Albion the Branded Dragon, in case, you know, banishing does not matter, or in case I want to send it to the graveyard for Mirror Jade's effect. Speaking of which, 1 Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon. Guardian Chimera. For a long time I didn't use this card. A lot of people were giving me a little bit of hassle about it, and I was like, okay, but I can't really fit it in, blah blah blah, so many excuses. Anyway, they were right, I was wrong. It's a good card, allows you to destroy 1 card and draw up to 2 cards, so that's always good. 1 Mysterian the Dragon Crown, because quite frankly, cards like Fire King that allow you to special summon cards from the deck, etc, etc, this just allows you to then trigger that effect when they special summon to then banish pretty much whatever they summon. Rescue Ace, they're all fire type machines, so you get the same machine, banishes whatever they summon, which is really going to put them in a tough space. Garura, Wings of Resonant Life, because super polymerization, very good in cards like for facing off against people such as like other Dark Magician users, Fire King, Snake Eye, you name it. This card's really, really good. Not so much good against Kashtira, because, you know, everyone's wised up about that now. Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Now, I was debating this. I did have Starving Venom in the deck, but because the main decks are fire now, that kind of just seems a little redundant. So I traded that out for Mud Dragon of the Swamp because it's more relevant in this current format. 1 Chaos Angel, because why not? Because it's a good card. I was debating at one point when it first came out, I was like, oh, I don't really see the big thing about this. Again, I was wrong. It's a good card. Tested it out a few times. It did come out a few times. Very good. Would normally run Baron, but I'm not running anything like Ash Blossom in this build, so. And Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis, because that is a good card. It was good against Pearly, it's good against decks now. It is a very, very good card, and if you are buying singles, I was lucky enough, luckily I have people who pull my cards who are very, very good at getting the cards I need. So I don't have to spend stupid amounts of money on eBay or, you know, TCG Player, etc. Okay, the Dark Charmer Gloomy, because this has got access code in it. Selene, the Queen of Master Magicians, which is good, even if you're not going into access code with Selene. It's really good for those little counters that I found on your opponent, because I didn't realise it was a quick effect until I was playing it once in Master Duel. Didn't want to go into access code for a stupid reason, maybe I took it out. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? Didn't realise that Selene was a quick effect, and I didn't have Eternal Soul at the time, and I was able, but I did have Dark Magical Circle. I was able to bring out Dark Magician using Selene's effect, because I had God knows how many counters on it at the time, banished the monster, and they surrendered. So just bear in mind, even though we don't use that very often, it's still there. So if for some reason they banish your access code talker, it still has some good use. Speaking of which, access code talker, when I was doing a test on Omega this morning, I found that came in handy. Can't remember who I was up against. Oh yeah, Ritual deck. Not the Voiceless Voice, it was... who was it? Oh yeah, the Libromancer. Great combo, that deck. Went straight into Baron, made it very, very difficult. I will be adding that video, that match, at the end of this, so if you want to test out what this build is like, then you'll know. Hi guys, and here's the side deck. So first of all, my Nibiru token. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Albion the Sanctified Dragon. 1 El Shadow Apkalone? No idea how to pronounce it. Please, if anybody knows, please leave a comment and tell me. On that one. 2 El Shadow Winder. 1 Dogmatica Maximus. 1 Jaugen the Spiritualist. 1 Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous. And the other Nibiru the Primal Being. Here we have 3 Nydia Servant, 2 Duality, and 1 Shadow Schism or Schism, however you want to pronounce that. What's interesting regarding this build is the Shadow package. Now I've seen Matchies build his, but I found that the best way for me, again, I keep saying this is based on my ratios, everyone's ratios will differ. You play whatever suits you best, which bricks less for you. This bricks less for me. So adding the Nidia package, or Dogmatica package, whatever you want to call it, seems to allow me to get to the Shadol window faster. And this is an interesting card. This one here, the Albion, the Sanctified Dragon. You might not be using it that often, and I suppose you're all kind of used to seeing it on Master Duel with the puppet lock, but in this build I'll be using it to create a Jaugen the Spiritualist lock, which basically stops your opponent from special summoning. That, along with things like Secret Village of the Spellcaster, is going to prevent your opponent from using spell cards. This, again, is good with Branded, as everybody knows. But one thing I find quite interesting is if you're going second and you use this, you can then use your Magician's Souls to bring on DMG onto the field, so then you can go into Chaos Angel, which gives it both effects, since Dark Magician Girl is dark and Cartesia is light, which is also good if you want to start getting things set up, because then that prevents your monsters from being destroyed. And the reason why that is in my side deck as opposed to in my main extra deck is because of this. Because this gives you access from this to this. And it also gives you access if you special summon this. If I just go to my extra deck for a moment, this again is dependent on your build, gives you access to this. So say for instance, if you're going second and you special summon Dark Magician the Dragon Knight because you've got Circle on the field, so you banish one card and they try and do something random like Imperm you or Effect Veiler, you can then use Duality to send that Dark Magician the Dragon Knight to the graveyard. Still activates the effect of Circle, so you still get that banish, and you get to special summon Mysterion, so if they special summon any cards, you can then use Mysterion's effect to banish those cards as well, which works particularly well against Fire King Snake Eye, which I found that out on Omega. Just a little tip. Thanks for watching, and just enjoy the replays.